Hi and welcome to a new video. I'm pretty sure that you have seen this type of designs and you might ask what is this technique or style called. This is digital collage, and on today's video I will show you what it's about, its characteristics and how I made this poster. So let's start with the video. First, we need to understand what is digital collage, and it's a creative technique in graphic design involving multiple elements like images, typography, textures, illustrations, and other visual elements combined into a single composition using softwares like Photoshop, Procreate, or even Canva. And unlike traditional collage, which involves cutting and pasting physical materials, digital collage allows more flexibility, layering, blending, and manipulation thanks to the use of digital tools like Photoshop. Now that we already know what is digital collage and its difference with traditional one, let's take a look on the main techniques used to create a digital collage poster. The first one is layering. It involves arranging and stacking different images and blending them to create depth and complexity. The next one is blending modes. In softwares like Photoshop, you can merge these images by creating smooth transitions thanks to these blending modes. The next one is masking. This technique allows you to have a precise control on which parts of the image are visible and which ones are hidden, allowing you to create intricate designs merging multiple images. The last one is texture manipulation. This will allow you to create digital images with a physical touch, giving your designs a tactile quality, adding visual interest to your composition. Now let's see how to make a digital collage. First, you need to choose your theme and brainstorming. Start by brainstorming random ideas or what story you want to tell through your design. Next one, you will need to create a mood board, which if you want to know it, there will be an article in the description on how to create a mood board. Next step is to gathering your source material. In this step, you will collect images, textures, the fonts you want to use, other materials you want to implement into your design. Next step is to plan your composition. Before start your design, I recommend you to create a layout and a brief sketch of what you are going to do. Next step is to use the design tool you prefer and start cutting the images, layering, and using the blending modes to start creating your design. Next step is to add text or typography to your collage. This will strengthen your composition and gives another layer of depth to your design. Last but not least, you can add more depth to your design by adding some filters, some effects, and adding texture to give an extra dimension to your collage. And also here are some personal tips I use for my designs, so you also can apply to your collage. As digital collage, as the name suggests, is related to collage, it's really interesting to add some physical elements to your design with textures or imagery that can create a depth and realism to your design. The next tip is really important if you want to create an harmonious design, and is to apply negative space. This will give your composition enough room to breathe and help you create visual hierarchy. Another tip is to experiment with blending modes to create some creative effects, adding a layer of complexity to your designs. So for example, you can use multiply, screen, or overlay effects to achieve a risographic effect. Also, there will be in the description a tutorial how to create a risograph effect using Photoshop. Also, if you want to go to the next step, you can add some hand-drawn elements to your collage to give it more authentic touch. For example, using illustration, sketches, or doodles will give more depth to your design and relate more with traditional collage and that effect of a sketching book. If you are finding this video useful, I will really appreciate a like, a comment, or subscribing to this channel. Let's get back to the video. Also, you can experiment with abstract shapes and patterns that can bring energy and rhythm to your design. Last tip but not least is to pay attention to color psychology and color theory. By creating an harmonious color palette with 4 to 5 colors, you can create an harmonious design, but if you use more, that will make your design look chaotic. Also, don't forget that colors have their meaning and can transmit different feelings and emotions. So by applying them, you can enhance the impact of your design. Now that we already know what is digital collage, how to create one, and some tips, let's go with the tutorial and how I made this poster. For this poster I will use this image as our main element and we'll start by cutting it. Now I am adding a filter to this image. I really like this combination, and adding half tone. A cool trick to create a digital collage effect for this poster is to use the magic wand tool and select the image, and I separated some white parts of it. Now I cut the jacket and place an image of a building, also using this halftone effect with some grain, and adding some images in other parts that I cut from the image. For the hair I use a color shape and start adding the detail, in this case pieces, that later I will also cut and modify. Now to add more elements to this composition, I colored a part of the jacket and also colored some part of the head to pink. Now I'm starting to cut the title in different pieces and adding some images to it in some parts. Now I'm cutting also more parts from the face. I was not very convinced by this shape in the background, so I remove it. Instead I'm placing some circles that will work as a background. I was not really sure about this font, so I changed to a more geometric one and also changed the E letter to add some variety. And lastly I'm adding this part of sky, also was cutted to imitate the collage style by cutting an image in irregular forms and place it behind the image. Now I'm adding some filters and textures and we are done. If you want to learn more about digital collage, I will leave a link to a blog article I've written about digital collage, so you can expand your knowledge. And if you find this video useful, I will appreciate a like. Also, I would like to know your thoughts about this style and technique in the comments. And if you want to keep learning things about graphic design, new styles or techniques, you can subscribe to this channel to stay updated with new videos. Hope you enjoyed and see you in the next video. Ciao!